Yeah.
Why do we think it happened?
Well, what is the reason?
Yes.
The evidence we have?
Yeah, like what is the current theory as to what the Big Bang, like why did the Big Bang take place?
Well, that's a good question. So there's no preferred conventional answer. We just don't know. That's not a we don't know because we're not sure. That's a we have no idea is the answer.
And what else could we do? We can also unlock the secrets of the Big Bang. You see, Einstein's equations break down at the instant of the Big Bang and the center of a black hole. The two most interesting places in the universe are beyond our reach using Einstein's equations. We need a higher theory, and that's where string theory comes in. String theory takes you before the Big Bang, before Genesis itself. And what does string theory say? It says that there is a multiverse of universes. Where did the Big Bang come from? Well, Einstein's equations give us this compelling picture that we are like insects on a soap bubble, a gigantic soap bubble which is expanding, and we are trapped like flies on flypaper. We can't escape the soap bubble, and that's called the Big Bang theory. String theory says there should be other bubbles out there in a multiverse of bubbles. When two universes collide, it can form another universe. When a universe splits in half, it can create two universes, and that, we think, is the Big Bang. The Big Bang is caused either by the collision of universes or by the fissioning of universes. If there are other dimensions, if there are other universes, can we go between universes? Well, that, of course, is very hard. However, Alice in Wonderland gives us a possibility that maybe one day we might create a wormhole between universes. This is a wormhole. Think of taking a sheet of paper and putting two dots on it. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But if I can fold that sheet of paper, then perhaps I can create a shortcut through space and time, called a wormhole. This is a genuine solution of Einstein's equations. We can actually see this in string theory. The question is, how practical is it to go through one of these things? We don't know. In fact, there's a debate among physicists today. Stephen Hawking, many physicists are jumping into the game of trying to figure out whether it's physically possible to go all the way through a wormhole. Because if you could, then you might be able to use this as a time machine. Since string theory is a theory of everything, it's also a theory of time. And time machines are allowed in Einstein's equations, but to build one is extremely difficult. Far more energy is required than a simple DeLorean with plutonium. You know, trillions of years from now, the universe is going to get awfully cold. We think the universe is headed for a big freeze. All the stars will blink out. Stars will cease to twinkle. The universe will be so big, it'll be very cold. At that point, all intelligent life in the universe must die. The laws of physics are a death warrant to all intelligent life. There's only one way to escape the death of the universe, and that is leave the universe. We are now, of course, entering the realm of science fiction, but at least we now have equations, the equations of string theory, which will allow us to calculate if it is possible to go through a wormhole to go to another universe where it's warmer and perhaps we can start all over again.
You're a professor of math as well as physics, probably the only one on the table.
Yeah, and the question that comes to mind for me is, how do you know that math is the language of the universe?
I was going to say, what about the multi?
The universe told me.
It's a pretty good first approximation, I'll tell you.
Okay, we're now doing science by revelation.
Lawrence, before you go, I'm just wondering, because I have a question about this. Could you imagine that one day far in the future we encounter some alien civilization and they say, hey, show us what you've done to understand the universe, and we bring out our math books with all our theorems in physics, and they turn around and say, math, we tried that. Yeah, it takes you just so far. And the real way to do it is like this.
I would say that whatever that real way is not manifest to us at this moment. And until that day happens, where an alien tells us how backwards we are, all I can say is that the math that we did invent out of our human brain, as you surely know, Eugene Wigner said, the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in describing the universe, the fact that it works at all is sufficient enough for me.
But here I want to have a note.
Just because you still can't figure out your string theory, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me because you can't figure it out.
No, in fact.
You got him started. See, you got him started.
Said don't get me started.
Get him started.
No, but I want to go on record.
He warned you not to get him started.
Yeah, I know, I told you. But I want to go on record. And this is a momentous occasion, I want to go on record as agreeing with Brian.
Is anybody keeping the record?
But no, in the sense that it is fascinating if you're a theoretical physicist to wonder when you find something fascinating, whether some mathematical formalism fascinating, whether it's a property of our brains or whether it's a property of the universe, and we just don't know. I think is the answer. If string theory
but let me ask you a question. I find it slightly confusing because Neil, you describe math as something that we create. So why is it the thing that we create is somehow intrinsic to the universe? That's our description.
It's a remarkably surprising. It is surprising.
I don't lose sleep over that. I celebrate it.
What's your opinion on M theory or string theory? That is to say, do you feel that it could be the, theory of unification, or is it just a theoretical pipe dream, in your opinion?
Right now, it's smelling pipe dreamy, I think. I've been following these guys for 27 years. And every 5 years, I ask them, how much longer? And they say, just a couple more years. And I ask them every 5 years. Just a couple more years. So I did this in 1982, 87, 91, and so something's wrong here. And they say, well, it's a hard problem to unify all the forces of the world and put everything under one equation and make it all the beautiful vibrating strings. It's hard. That's the answer they give, rather than, we're just too stupid. General relativity was hard. It was done by one man. It took him 9 years. We had experimental proof 3 years later. I'm ready for another idea from them. But they're the only game in town, and they're really inexpensive. You just buy a few pencils for them, maybe a sharpener. They're good to go. Throw in a laptop. Fine. They're not in anybody's way. So I'm okay with that. Okay? But I'm no longer their champion. I used to speak praises of them. I don't, and just because they want it to be elegant doesn't mean the universe agrees, right? Most efforts to layer onto the universe our own sense of what is elegant have failed from the very beginning of thinking about the universe. So I'm losing my...
The entire country is completely full of shit. Bullshit is everywhere. Bullshit is rampant.